Hey, welcome to Travel Tuesday Happy Hour, where we interview dope people doing dope things with one thing in common, the love for travel. We have a great guest lined up. Grab a drink, stay tuned. What's going on, travel fam? If you ever thought about starting a podcast, check out Anchor. Anchor is free. Anchor will provide you tools to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor will also distribute your podcast to multiple streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Everything you need right in one app. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
You call them what you want to call them, just call them great. You know what I mean? So, good brother, tell us who you are and what you do.
Hey, what's going on, family? I'm not y'all. I'm a proud black man, first and melanated man. Down here in Florida, I'm a community developer, a community activist. I'm an educator. I'm a brother, friend, music enthusiast, podcaster, all the above. You know, brother, I'm a really, regular guy.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, you throw this podcast on out there really lightly, and you being modest about it. I appreciate it, but tell us what your podcast is about, because I mean, this is something that really touches our community and something our community really needs. So, talk about your podcast, bro.
So it's called the Playlist Podcast. Simple yet profound. I feel it's really it's a black male music therapy group. So it's what I do is I solicit or ask for songs, lyrics that kind of capture what last week or the few weeks meant to black men specifically, and then we create a playlist from them, and we listen to the playlist really for about a few days, and then we and my co-host we debrief it and we dive into them, and we really be vulnerable, and we hold space for each other to talk about emotions that we normally kind of bottle up or we don't even have a name for or can articulate. So black men really don't talk about feelings and things of that nature unless through music. And you feel that energy depending on what it is, who the artist is, and you'll see you have a connection to that song, or that's your song, right? And that's why. So I really wanted to hold space that we can really unpack and really let some of that weight off our shoulders that we carry a great deal of the time.
That's crazy, because I mean, we got what's called ride around music, and a lot of people don't realize that ride around is just you and your thoughts trying to be like, you know what? Yeah, man, it ain't that serious. You know what? I need to go talk to somebody about that. And I've watched a couple episodes, bro, that joint is deep, man. And I appreciate you for making, therapy seem so natural to have a conversation about. You know what I mean? And that's something that's tough for our community.
It's tough for me, and only I've never really been I'm a tough lover. So I know the tough aspect of love, the perseverance, the endurance, that type of dynamic. But then I had to grow and evolve. And I think that's really our quest, to start finding that supplement, finding that complement. I need to know the nurturing part. I need to understand it's okay to acknowledge, that you're angry, but it's also okay to acknowledge that, this young lady kind of had you in your feels, or you really were kind of self-sabotaging because you wanted to honor and do right by her, but that's not really the culture, or that's not really the cool thing to do. So somebody said something in a song, and you were like, you know what, I kind of like that, and you're able to be honest in that space. So it was new to me as well, and so I wanted people to see, we can step out. If I can step out and do it, you certainly can as well.
Now we talking to a Zoe from Duval, you know what I'm saying? And that ain't tough to say, man. So I appreciate that, bro.
You know what they say on the Breakfast Club. I'm from Duval, Florida, so you know what they say about us Florida boys.
You know what I mean? Y'all donkeys ain't on the regular, but it's all good.
Okay.
So with that said, so what got you to traveling in the first place?
Man, what got me to travel in the first place? And you know me, so it's nothing Nothing really a certain level with me. So honestly, the Boxcar Children, man, the series, the book. I grew up kind of like a lot of our young men grow up, which is single mother household, in name, insert neighborhood, that was probably depleted and deficient in a lot of resources. But my aunt always kind of surrounded me with books, and the Boxcar Children's literally had like every adventure imaginable. Um, so I really escaped into those, and that was my plight. My environment for the most part, that I knew something wasn't right. That I knew I didn't necessarily fit in the boxes that were already kind of laid out for me. And so I was able to read those different adventures. I'm like, yo, where's the nearest train? Our minds are really like cut short. Like on the east side, and a kid growing up on the east side would probably never even experience, that we have a beach here. Like, there's some kids in education that they don't even know like Jacksonville has a beach, because it's really kind of limited to the scope of their neighborhood. The streets above and below where they're from. So the power of a book, man, and how powerful the mind is, so that you can kind of transcend your everyday life, was really got me started. And then once I got a little money in my pocket, I saw that, man, I went down to Miami for undergrad. A whole nother world. That was a whole different
world.
I'm trying to tell you. And my eyes was like going down there, like, oh my gosh, different cultures. So I really felt in that space. I traveled to more than one country. I experienced more than one culture just in that space. And I knew, the connectivity that I had with, friends and the family that I learned. And then I knew that I was like, I had a deeper history to culture and history that I needed to explore. Oh man, that lit me on fire. And now I'm still lit up.
So what keeps you traveling? Like, what's that like nudging feeling that keeps you like, is it diving deeper into that book, or is it just curiosity at this point? You flexing. I see the flex. I see the flex. I see the flex. I see the flex.
Well, perspective. Perspective is really honestly the thing that connects us all. And if when you travel, one, you get to really get down to the root cause of a lot of things. And I love history. So I don't want to just read about it and that's somebody else's perspective. I want to experience it firsthand. So for me, it's a matter of living life on purpose and living life with intentionality. So, I want to seek out a place because of this reason and explore the culture. And with that, it's always something. I'm an athlete, so it's always something special about home court advantage. But it's also something about playing on the road. You're out of your comfort, and you have to move with a certain okay, wait a minute, I got to take this for granted. Like, I don't know everybody here. I need to ask questions. So the ego that we're normally going through life with, because we're in our own circle and we're in our own neighborhood, or a country or a state that we're used to and familiar with, we got to really check when we go somewhere else. So I love that type of perspective. And now I'm connected to somebody else that has, now they're the top dog. Now this is your space. This is where you excel because this is your area and I can learn something from you. And that's always, been what connects me to traveling. And I want to experience a lot of history and a lot of culture.
That's dope. So, yo, I ain't gonna lie, this is mad organic, right? So this leads us into the next question, right? It's like, given the current times, we got Corona, we got civil unrest, it's just crazy. People have time to sit and think into their thoughts, right? So you're talking about, mental health, social unrest, and just the health situation right now. Like, tell me, what are your thoughts like on all or one topic? Quite honestly,
yeah,
you got about like 7 minutes. I'll let you rock. You know what I mean?
Let's get it. Let's try to pack a lot into these 7 minutes. So first off, it's the matter of when you said folks have to sit in it. Like right now, we are in a juncture to where we recognize that we were entertaining a lot of distractions. So folks have had to sit in the discomfort of not really having an identity for themselves, not really exploring themselves, and having like, oh, this is a hobby of mine. This is what I like. Oh my gosh, I'm really a introvert, or you know what? I really love being social, or I've taken this for granted. So just exploring that space of folks having to say, hey, who am I? Because a lot of distractions have left. Friendships have been reevaluated, families have been reevaluated, occupations have been revisited. I think that space right now is honest, and I think we need to sit in that more and develop true what our identity is. Then next, as a black man, because we talk about traveling, when I went to Ghana, it's something special about, going to a community and then coming back to America, and you really see what they say about like having a whole country behind you, have a whole continent behind you. You know what I mean? You kind of poke your chest out a little differently. It's a certain lineage now that you feel like you have to honor. And so in this space, it's been like, I got to rise to the challenge, as a black man. And you got to take care of yourself in the midst, but we got to start ushering this change in. And so I've been trying to hold my black men accountable, hold myself accountable as well, to just do more and be more. But we got to tie into our history. So, part of that is things that, we drinking from this and people think, what is that? You kind of crazy. And I'm like, well, let's talk about some things. Do you really know why you do what you do? So I love the space kind of that we're in, because it's out of friction, something new is going to evolve from it, something great, as long as we maintain consistency and execute. So as a black man, I'm feeling a lot of weight, but, with great, responsibility, we got to go ahead and execute to a higher degree.
So I mean, since you flexing on us, right? Educate our viewers on the light flex real quick.
Oh, right. So right now, when I got this when I was in Ghana, and honestly, we were drinking this, of royalty, of homage to, our ancestors when we poured out libations, where you see that in the hood to this day, but we're pouring out libations, how many times you're supposed to pour out libations, why? And so before we get into, the plastics and things of this nature, like this is what we had. So it's really to let you know the history that you come from, the greatness that you come from, that we really manipulated the earth and the world to the same degree when we talk about technology with the materials that we had, So I love this. And then it's a distinction of royalty, and it makes people think twice about how they approach you and what they say to you. Just as simple as when we got our naming ceremony, a name is more precious than gold. So what you answer to, that has a certain vibration, a certain frequency to it. So you're going to live up to it. And right now, that's what I'm trying hard to do. That's what
okay. I'm doing. So, world traveler now, right? Philosophical genius, therapist by association, you know what I mean? What's a tip that you would give your up and coming traveler to really see the world? Because from your story, it really started from just getting outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah. I mean, actually, I would say start there. I would want them to kind of write down the things that they're kind of, the cultures that they're kind of unsure about, the things that they don't know about, and start to fuel that with, let me travel to here to deepen that understanding, or even start. When we begin that process, then we'll really talk about the humanity and the connection that we have with everyone and all things, and you'll see really how deep this rabbit hole goes, and the level of compassion and grace that we should extend to everyone. So I'll say start off with your comfort zone, write that down, but then let's start pinpointing the things that's outside of your comfort zone, or the things that you have really questions about, and start seeing what cultures are rooted or have a foundation in that, and then sit and see how we can travel to those places and really travel with a purpose. You can be in a resort, but that resort is just like the place that you're leaving. So I really want you to just live life on purpose, and then move out of your comfort zone and learn a lot.
So last question, what's your favorite Haitian dish?
Oh my gosh.
Just one.
Man, I can't name just one. Man, I can't. Well, actually, Haitian mac and cheese. I just had it.
Okay.
Honestly, yeah. And that's because I can see like, oh, You know, we got. I grew up on this side. The spices, everything else that's going on, the noodles, and I'm like, I can see the dichotomy of everything, and I love that. So I'm like, oh, okay. My country folks had a little something. My Haitian folks got a little something too. You know what I
There
mean?
you go.
I can compare.
Well, my good brother, I'll put my glass up to you. I
Hey,
appreciate
and I
you.
mine up to you also with everything that you're doing. I appreciate you, melanated man, black man, for real, for real. I'm proud of you. I see you. I feel you. I love you. I just want to let you know that.
I appreciate it, brother. You have a good one.
Likewise, brother, you have a better one.
Another dope conversation. Keep traveling and stay safe. Until next time, peace.